kryptonite burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels screaming, spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oil slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Races blood pumping fast, gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies and bends. Ruthless turns, heart turns savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, not in faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like trophies, exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty now, but the ghosts they remain. This dirt track story sings forever in our veins. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. This is raw real.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready for another amazing night of racing action here with the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights. As drivers are jumping out onto the racetrack right now for a little bit of a qualifying session, they're going to make sure they try to lay down their quickest lap times out there on the racetrack, trying to put themselves into a good starting position and trying to put themselves into the show. The top 20 drivers in qualifying will transfer through into the A main feature event, plus any drivers that earn provisionals here on this evening. As Jeremy Vaughn says, welcome back, Peace, welcome back indeed. I missed last week. We were feeling under the weather, man. It was just, a few days in a row that's super, super hot, man. We were just dead in the water and needed some much needed rest there, man. I passed out virtually, I don't even know, 7 o'clock, something like that, 7:30. I was out like a light, slept for a good solid 12 hours, got up, went to work for the next day, and then we were back up here, and we plan on being here, for the rest of it, man. We don't tend to miss very many nights at all, unless if we're off for the night and don't have anything planned. It's Mr. Gunnell's coming in, showing the love here as well. Gunnell's coming in, says, what up, Jason? How are you, brother? Jason coming in with the like on the stream. Jeremy Vaughn Racing coming in with that like as well. well, as Jeremy says, yeah, heat is no bueno. Yeah, the heat is brutal sometimes. The heat is brutal sometimes. We would have the webcam turned on here tonight, but unfortunately the webcam decided it didn't want to work here today. I don't know what was going on with that. Just loaded into Streamlabs, and it just did not want to connect. So maybe a new camera in the future here. Maybe we'll have to get one set up, or a new one. Maybe we'll get some fancy-ass cameras, so that way you guys can see us even better and clearer up here in the booth. Maybe a new PC along the way. Who knows? Maybe we'll mess around here or something, get something crazy going, another crazy build here. As Tyler Jackson says, tell those boys to rip the lip, he says. How are you, T-Jack? T-Jack coming in, showing the love here this evening. And yeah, they are going to be ripping the lip here this evening. It's already a fairly slick racetrack, so we'll have to wait and see how the admin crew kind of have everything figured out, where they're going to go and lean towards here for track settings to start this feature event. Is qualifying still underway. Still a few drivers left out there to qualify. You do see that 7 ride. That is Seth Castle out there on the speedway. Castle, he'll jump up into 8th here in qualifying. Marcos Pace, he'll jump up inside the top 5. Jim Revis there in 9th, as we do see Brian Wells. Wells in the 86. Looks like he'll jump into about the 14th position here. Looks like his qualifying session coming to an end as of right now. About 25 drivers have taken lap times here. Now we do still have a few of them that have not had a lap time in. We haven't seen anything from Robert Eversole, nothing from Anthony Thompson, as well as a few other drivers here for qualifying. So we'll have to wait and see if maybe they get provisionals or if they've already left the server here this evening. It's already slick, says Jeremy Vaughn. It is already slick. You can see that there just on the speedway, and that's going to make things interesting. That's going to make things fun here this evening. A slick racetrack, a tricky track for all these drivers, man. It is going to be a lot of fun here in this one, man. We can't wait to see kind of how this all continues the battle and how everyone's able to try to keep on working themselves forward here and try to navigate their way through traffic, and who's going to be able to hang on, who's going to be able to keep themselves out of trouble here in this one, as drivers hopping out of the racetrack. Here it is their warm-up session here. So we do see Jordan Gage. He'll jump out there. Here comes Tyler Ryan out there on the track, as well as Ronald Burr. I'm probably getting that completely wrong. Ronald out there on the racetrack. Looks like he is now taking his car back down pit side. Here comes Philip Sexton in that beautiful Sexton paint and body doghouse chassis number 2020 machine, as he's looking to try to race his way up towards the front of the field here. Anthony Thompson, he's out there on the racetrack. Anthony right now in that 131 ride, looking fresh out there in the Cocky Floyd Consulting machine. Jackson Reitzler there in the 22 ride. He had a good qualifying spot there, and I'm pretty sure we may see this 22 ride start pretty close to the front of the field, as you do see Steven Stokes out there in the 17 ride. Steven looking to have a solid run. Same with Derek Rice in his Cocky Floyd Consulting Roughhouse number 357 machine, as Ryan Howard out there. Howard in that 4X. Always good to see Ryan out there on the speedway. Tyrell back out there as well. Good to see Ty out there on the speedway here in that beautiful number 2 ride here this evening. Tyler Ryan back there in the 47 ride, looking like me out there on the racetrack. No, I'm just kidding. That was my number, though, for the 47. So they always like to see the 47 rides out there and see if Tyler can do it well and maybe try to put himself up into a good finishing position. Jeremy Vaughn, Jeremy Akins, all these drivers down out on the racetrack. Here comes the 0 ride of Jason Gunnels as well. Gunnels looking to have a good run here this evening, as Jason says, yo, what's up, Jason? How are you, Mr. Gunnels? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day, as he takes that 0 ride for a rip here this evening, as we'll get these drivers locked and loaded, ready to rumble here, ready to go to battle for 65 laps of racing action here this evening. 65 laps to duke it out here in the Wednesday night street fights. Now, we have seen these races go very, very quickly. We've seen them go virtually caution-free, some of them even caution-free. It's all about the, the talent level that these drivers are putting on display for us, man, which makes this series and this race so much fun. Just seeing these drivers give it everything they got. There's no money, there's no points, there's no nothing on the line except for a little bit of bragging rights and a lot of fun out there on the racetrack. And they show up and they show out Wednesday after Wednesday after Wednesday. And if you guys want to be a part of it, look out for the, there's no invites, there's no sign-up or anything else. They're hosted lobbies every Wednesday night here at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. They go up, half an hour of practice, and then we get into our qualifying and warm-up, then the race. So if you guys are looking for something to do on Wednesday nights, make sure you guys check out Jim Ravis's lobbies. Usually they will be called the DWR, the Dirt Warrior Racing League races, and you can check them out as well. They also do Mondays and Fridays, I do believe, as well still, so you can get some extra action in there. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for some dirt street stock action. If you guys are looking for a new place or another place to jump out and have some fun, is Mama Bear, Susie Dickinson. Mama Bear, how are you? Mama Bear coming in, show the love, says hello, my boy Aaron. Hello, Mama Bear, how are you? How the fluff you doing? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Wednesday. Hopefully the fam is doing well, as Mama Bear coming in also with that heart reaction on the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we'll get ready to set these drivers loose. We'll get ready to go to battle here in just a couple more moments, as this warm-up session coming to a close. Drivers, they need to make sure that their cars are absolutely perfect, absolutely set up to a T here and ready for this feature event to try to either hang on to a good position or try to move themselves forward into a better spot, or just trying to keep themselves out of trouble, as you see a pair of the Sexton rides battling out there on the racetrack. Jeremy Sexton in the 20 ride, and then you see Philip Sexton in the 2020 there. These two duking it out here on the speedway and looking to try to have a little bit of fun here in this one. Is Mama Bear says, happy birthday, Jeremy. Wait, Jeremy Vaughn, it's your mother fluffing birthday? Jeremy was in the chat and he didn't even tell me it was his birthday. Jeremy, happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday. Hopefully you have yourself a wonderful day, and now we're really pulling for him to have himself a great run and trying to put himself up into victory lane here this evening. We may have to pull him in for a post-race or in-race interview, something. If we get him in the Discord, we may have to pull him in for that. Is Ross, what's good, Ross? Ross coming in, showing the love as well. Drop that like on the stream. How are you, Russ? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day, as here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's our main feature event. 65 laps of racing action here from the beautiful Federated Auto Parts Raceway. It's I-55 here this evening. For all these drivers, it's a golden opportunity to show off your talent, to put your talent on full display here this evening, and try to put yourself up and into the DWRL victory lane, as we'll get all these drivers ready to roll, ready to rumble, as they are awoken from their slumber here this evening. It is the 05 ride of Jordan Gage. Gage will start in the pole position here this evening. Jeremy Aikens will start to his outside there in P2, and then we see the 2020 ride. That is Jeremy Sexton there, the yellow and black 2020 there in position number 3. Jackie Whaley in the 720 will roll to his outside of that DWR iRacing iFlag. Grumpy Graphics right there in position number 4. And starting in the 5th position, the Cocky Floyd Consulting number 47 ride. That is Marcos Pace to his outside, the TNT Racing ride. That is the 2 of Tyrell. Starting in position number 7 on the inside of row number 4, it's the 20 ride of Philip Sexton to his outside in the 7 ride. That is Seth Castle. Starting in position number 9 in the number 57, that is Jim Rivas, and to his outside in the 99, it's the TNT Racing Memphis Grizzlies machine of Tim Taylor. Jackson Reitzler, Brian Wells, Evan Monaghan, Stephen Baru, Chris Hale, Derek Rice, Jason Guttles, Jeremy Vaughn, Ryan Howard, Anthony Thompson, Robert Eversole, Stephen Stokes bringing up the rear of the field. As here we go, as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation, as we are quickly green flag racing in a short and Gage will lead lap number 1. So a lot of drivers running some different areas. As look out, Jeremy Aikens around. There goes Jim Rivas, and we get our first caution flag of the day. So our first yellow flag will be displayed here this evening as it all starts with this 7 ride. Heavy damage here for him. He's trying to get this thing down pit side and trying to get this thing fixed up here. Let's see if we can take a look back and see what happens here. Obviously some issues for Tim Taylor. He gets a little piece of that one. Heavy contact for the number 57 of Jim Revis as well. Obviously nowhere to go here for Jim as all of a sudden this number 7 ride will be parked right in front of him as we'll take a look down into corner number 1, and it looks like the 2 ride, Ty Ralph. Ralph just gets in there a little too hard. You can see him on the back bumper pushing this number 2 or the number 7 ride right around here. So here he comes, sends it into the corner. 7 ride trying to get wound up here, and all of a sudden, there's the contact right there as the TNT Racing number 2 gets into the 7 of Jeremy Akins, and then all of a sudden, nowhere to go here as the 7 of Castle gets in there. Here comes the 57, the 99. Tim Taylor nowhere to go for Jim Revis as they all get tied up into it. Pretty good contact there, not once but twice for Castle and Revis. And then Jim goes around and all of a sudden he ends up slamming right back into that 7 ride as everyone else stacking up, trying to find ways to try to get through there. And unfortunately some more contact there, a little bit more minimal contact for a lot of these other drivers deeper in the field trying to navigate themselves around the spun out cars. As now we're going back to green flag racing. So the green flag quickly back out into the air as Jordan Gage out in front. Jordan with a great restart right there early on, trying to hit his marks, making sure he tries to keep these drivers back there at bay. May feel a little bit more comfortable now with a Cocky Floyd Consulting teammate of his right there behind him as Jordan Gage and Jeremy Sexton 1 and 2 on the speedway. Jackie Whaley, they're in position number 3, and I know for the Cocky Floyd crew, they would love to try to make it a 1-2-3 race here early on this evening. And right now, it's Jackie Whaley in the JRE DWR 720 ride that's kind of throwing a blocker into that aspect right now. The 720 ride rolling there in position number 3 here this evening. As you do see that 47 ride, though, that is the ride of Marco's pace. Marco's trying to join his Cocky Floyd Consulting crew here at the front of the field as he looks to try to get around Jackie Whaley. He's going to send it in there, gets a little piece of the door right there, pushes Jackie up the track there ever so slightly. Luckily enough, Jackie able to hang on to it, keep that car pointed the right direction. Marcos will recollect his car, and he'll look to try to battle back into this fight as you do see the 720s trying to get around this 2020 ride now, trying to figure out a way to get around Jeremy Sexton right now. Jeremy kind of just a little bit more off the pace there, maybe trying to take it a little bit easier on the tires, and Jackie Whaley may want to push that subject and try to open up a little distance here between himself, the 47, and try to work himself up into position number 2. Zeph Castle right there in the 5th position with Philip Sexton back in position number 6. Here comes Philip down to the inside, gets a little contact there of Castle. Castle gets up, scrapes that outside fence. Luckily enough, both drivers able to keep on battling as here comes Tim the Toolman Taylor, the TNT Racing Memphis Grizzlies 99 ride. Even with that front end damage from our first caution flag, Tim now has himself up and into position number 7 on the racetrack. Jackson Reitzler there in 8th with Evan Monaghan back in position number 9, and Brian Wells now rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway. Chris Hill back in P11 here on the speedway with Stephen Baru there in the TNT Racing 45 ride back in 12th. Jason Cannell's there in position number 13 with Derek Rice. Anthony Thompson, the number 8 ride of Jeremy Vaughn. There's the birthday boy right there in that Team No Love, the TNL beautiful grip Hackney Live number 8 ride sits right now in that 16th position. We'll have to wait and see if Jeremy can navigate his way a little closer to the front of the field as Ryan Howard there in position number 17. Steven Stokes back there in 18th with Jeremy Akins, Jim Revis, Robert Eversole, and Ty Ralph bringing up the rear of the field here in this one. Unfortunately for Ty, did get that EOL, got sent to the back of the pack. Now he's trying to work his way here towards the front, and I'm not sure why. Robert Eversole has a, I do believe that is a Ty Dickinson paint scheme, the DWR iRacing iFlag back in the day. This was a Ty Dickinson paint scheme out there on the speedway. If I'm not wrong, I stand to be corrected, but I do believe that's whose car this is. You can see our logo right there in the back of it here. As that's definitely a Ty Dickinson paint scheme right there. We love to see it out there on the racetrack. That is for certain. Beautiful, beautiful paint scheme here this evening. Yeah, you do see Ty Dickinson's name right there on that top left here on that car. So we'll see Ty's car out there on the racetrack. It would be nice to see Ty out there a couple more times here, as we miss seeing Ty out there on the speedway. That is for certain. Hopefully we can get him back out there and into some of these broadcasts. Obviously, we got to start doing some more dirt track racing. We got a lot of pavement stuff, and it'd be nice to go back to the roots, get a few more dirt series on the roll. Unfortunately, we're fairly booked up. We got a lot of races, a lot of different series that are all underway right now, and not a whole lot of time off. As there goes that two-ride, turned around backwards there on the racetrack, and that will bring the caution flag out. Robert Eversole goes around here. Look at the DWR number 2 ride. We're hoping for a good run for him here, as he's in that Ty Dickinson ride here this evening, and unfortunately for that 2 ride, just sends it down through corner number 1 and 2, loops it around there, gets nosed into the inside fence, and all our race leaders will go by him. Unfortunately, that will put him a lap down, and now all of a sudden we are back under the yellow flag, so another opportunity here for drivers to try to move forward or potentially to fall backwards out there on the speedway, as we'll get these drivers ready to rumble here once again. We'll get ready to go back to battle here this evening, as man, oh man, this is going to be a lot of fun here in this one, man. This is going to be some great action here tonight. I think as longer we get into this, man, the tires are going to continue to fall off. We're going to continue to see more and more drivers, kind of move forward. Some probably fall backwards. It's going to be pretty interesting to see kind of what these drivers are going to be able to do and how they're going to be able to kind of navigate with this racetrack and not only keep the tires underneath of them, but keep their heads, on their shoulders here and race out there on the speedway. This is one of those racetracks. It's small, it's tiny, and frustrations can boil over in a quick hurry out there on the racetrack. As here we go, back to green flag racing. Jordan Gage trying to hold off Jeremy Sexton. Sexton trying to stay there to his outside. Jeremy does a great job down the back straightaway into corner number 3. Jeremy looking to take it away here from Jordan Gage. Gage still working to the inside, door to door, but give that lap lead to the 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton. So Sexton now scored as our race leader, but the 05 ride of Jordan Gage down low is going to go for the slide job here. Just closes up and over the nose of that 2020 machine. Oh, baby, tight racing here at the front of the field. Is there 3 wide back there behind him? Look out here as we see Philip Sexton right in the middle here. The 47 ride. That's Marco's Pace, who's up on the high side. The 720 of Jackie Whaley down low as Marco's looking to move up into position number 3. There's contact again. Look out there, 3-4 wide off of corner number 2. I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but somehow they are still able to keep themselves pointed in the right direction. How have we not seen a couple of caution flags over the last couple laps as these drivers have been beating each other up out there on the speedway, man? This has been some great action here. There's still more contact as you see the 99 of Tim Taylor. He gets up into the 20 ride there of Philip Sexton. Sexton closes up the racetrack there, unfortunately, for the 22 ride of Jackson Reitzler. He ends up with nowhere to go here as he's kind of stuck in behind that 20 ride, but now gets a good run through the middle of corner number 3 and 4 down to the inside as they're 3 wide back here for position number 5 on the racetrack. Reitzler looking to try to take that 5th position away, and Philip Sexton trying to hang on to it as they're battling a little deeper in the field. Here comes Gunnels. Gunnels trying to work his way up and around Chris Hill here. He's got Ryan Howard right in that mix as they're 3 wide a little deeper in the field here, as now we see Brian Wells trying to make it 3 wide here for position number 6 on the racetrack, as Reitzler still hasn't been able to find his way around that car, but look out, one car turned around. No caution flag as of yet on the racetrack. I do believe that is the number, I don't even know whose car that was. That was Evan Monaghan in the 13 machine. Monaghan gets kind of turned right there, and unfortunately, it just takes this car right down pit lane here. And unfortunately, iRacing doesn't score that as an on-track incident here. It shows that he went down pit side. There's contact right there between him and the 131 machine, and it kind of just sends him down into the pit lane right there, and no yellow flag. He rolls back out onto the racetrack, though, luckily enough, but does go a lap down there. Tough break for the 13 rider, Evan Monaghan. Tough break there after contact between him and Anthony Thompson. Thompson continues to roll there in that 12th position. As out in front, it's Jordan Gage. Gage able to hold off Jeremy Sexton. We'll have to wait and see if Sexton can mount another challenge and another charge to try to take that race lead away from the 0-5 here this evening. It's down across the line. They will click off lap number 32 here on the night as the 720 of Jackie Whaley there in third. Marcos Pace and Philip Sexton rounding out our top 5 here this evening. Jackson Reitzler still there in position number 6 here. Reitzler still trying to figure out a way to get around that 20 ride of Philip Sexton as here comes Tim Taylor. Taylor still hanging on inside the top 10 here. Great run for the TNT Racing Memphis Grizzlies 99 machine as Tim the Toolman Taylor rolls there in 7th. Brian Wells has now raced his way up into position number 8. Seth Castle there in 9th, and Stephen Baru there in his TNT Racing number 45. Ryan back here in the 10th position is Ryan Howard, Anthony Thompson, Jeremy Vaughn, Jason Gunnels, Jeremy Aikens, Chris Hill, Jim Revis, Tyrell, Steven Stokes, Derek Rice, Evan Monaghan, and Robert Eversole rounding out our 22-car field. And it looks like the number 2 ride going to run into some more issues here. So Robert Eversole, not sure what's going on here. Obviously struggling, trying to figure out this dirt street stock ride, and obviously having some problems out there on the speedway. And once again, just loops it through corner number 1 and 2. He toes it down pit side there quickly, but not quick enough as our race leaders were right there on his back bumper. He'll take that car around, and that will put him down pit side and potentially out of this race. Tough break there. Second spin of the day for that number 2 machine, doing Ty Dickinson no justice running that paint scheme here this evening. But we still love and appreciate seeing that ride out there on the racetrack as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go as Mr. Billy. How are you, Billy? Billy coming in, showing the love with that like on the stream. How are you, Billy? Billy coming in, dropping that thumbs up here this evening as here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here today as we're getting closer and closer to the checkered flag here in this race. It's not too far away, and for these drivers, they know that they got to be patient here. They got to make some moves. They got to make the right moves here to try to put themselves up and into victory lane. Do you push now? Do you wait a little bit longer, bank on potentially another late race caution flag here, and maybe save that extra little bit of tire for later in this run? Or do you go now and try to put yourself out in front as Jordan Gage leads us once again? Another great restart there for the 0-5. Quickly able to slide up and clear that 2020 of Jeremy Sexton. Is Sexton locked in there to position number 2? Is there contact right there? Is the 720. Oh, baby, Jackie Whaley trying to hang on to position number 3, and now Reitzler all over the back bumper of Marcos Pace. Marcos able to jump back in front of that 720 ride as the caution flag does come back out, and it's a tough night for the 2 cars. The 2 cars having a rough go here this evening as we'll watch the 2 of Tyrell now run into some problems here. Looks like a little bit of damage on his machine and sends it into the corner. Looks like the 5H rider, Chris Hill, will send it in there a little too far, maybe just helping him out there going around. But let's take another look at it as obviously Hill's just going to send it in there a little bit too deep here and ends up getting into that TNT Racing number 2 rider right there. You see that right front and the left rear of the 2 machine. That's just going to knock that car loose and around, especially for how slick this racetrack is. Doesn't take much contact to loop one of these rides around, and unfortunately for the 2 ride, pointed the wrong direction, and that will bring out the caution flag there on the speedway as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up. We'll get ready to try it all over again here this evening. Just over 25 laps of racing action left to go here in this one. So we're inching down to it. We're getting closer and closer to that checkered flag, and I think for a lot of these drivers, they're going to be fairly happy with it. I'm sure there's a few that would rather this race kind of go clean and green, but I feel there's a couple other drivers that probably prefer these caution flags. Maybe slowly but surely inching their way closer and closer to the front of the field. When we look at the drivers that are moving up here, you look at Jeremy Vaughn back here in that 12th position, the 131 of Anthony Thompson. They started in the back of the pack, and now here they are just outside of the top 10, looking to try to work their way into the top 10. As here we go, back to green flag racing. Now now look out is the 22 ride of Jackson Reisler. Loose off of corner number 2, slides all the way down to the inside wall. Luckily enough, able to catch it, hang on to it, keep it rolling here, but does fall all the way back now into position number 10, where now he's got that Anthony Thompson ride. Jeremy Vaughn, the 0 of Jason Gunnels, right there on his back bumper is out in front. Jordan Gage just looking to try to run away with this one. Jeremy Sexton there in second with Jackie Whaley. Now look out, Philip Sexton turned around here. Now more contact, somehow no caution flag. How in the world have we not gotten a yellow yet? My gosh, that 20 ride was absolutely turned the wrong direction out there on the racetrack. Somehow or another, everyone was able to get through that. Let's see if we can get another look at it here. As man, I don't know how Philip Sexton did not continue to go all the way around right here, man. That was a crazy save, or maybe just a little enough contact here, as there's contact between him and the 99, and then 99 gets back into him, pushes him back forward. You see the 22 trying to hang on to it, the 131, all these drivers, and somehow or another, they don't run over top of each other. We don't see that caution flag fly until now. It didn't take too much longer before that yellow flag was going to be displayed again, and we will take a look and see what happens. It looks like potentially Jason Gunnell is going to have some issues here in the 0 machine, as they're 2-3 wide here down across the line and into corner number 1, and then they kind of just get stacked up again, and 22 gets a little shove right there. Obviously the 0's trying to get checked up, and man, Jim Rivas nowhere to go. He gets tied up in it. Jackson Reitzler, Jeremy Akins, a bunch of drivers just getting tore up here in corner number 2, as there is a little contact right there between the 0 and the 22 ride. Now I don't think Jason was trying to get into him, obviously trying to get checked up in time to not run him over there, and obviously not enough, as he does get a piece of him and gets sent up the track himself, collects Jim Rivas, and obviously hard contact into that outside fence. Doesn't look like too much damage there for him though, and everyone will get their cars pointed back in the right direction, and we'll get ready to set them back loose. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing as the 0-5 ride of Jeremy Akins. Akins continues to lead this race. He's out in front trying to put on a show here this evening. He was trying to be that reflection of perfection. The 2020 ride, though, of Jeremy Sexton was able to jump up and lead a lap or two there for a couple of those restarts, and unfortunately for the 0-5, won't lead all the laps here this evening, but so far he's been pretty damn close to it. Let's see if we can have someone late in this race maybe jump up, challenge him, maybe trying to take that win away from the 0-5 machine here today. Is nice and easy. Back down the back straightaway into corner number 3, out of corner number 4. They will complete lap number 44 here this evening as we get 21 more laps of racing action. Again, you see that 720 ride of Jackie Whaley. Whaley battling underneath of Marco's pace, trying to jump back into that 3rd position, and that may open up the door here for the 86 ride of Brian Wells. Wells up 9 spots here on the racetrack. He has got that Cocky Floyd Consulting 86 machine now up and inside the top 5. And right behind him, the 4X machine, that is Ryan Howard. Howard, he's up 13 positions on the speedway, and for Howard, he rolls there in that 6th spot on the racetrack. Man, heck of a drive for that 4X machine, and he looks to continue to try to keep on racing his way towards the top 5 here this evening. As Philip Sexton and Seth Castle battle door to door. Tim Taylor right there behind him, and now Jeremy Vaughn, the birthday boy, up inside the top 10. So Jeremy works himself into that 10th position, now trying to work his way around Tim Taylor here for position number 9 on the racetrack is Anthony Thompson. He's right there ready to pounce. There's a couple other drivers, Stephen Baru, Evan Monaghan back on the lead lap here. He is just outside the top 10. Monaghan trying to put himself right back into contention here today. The 17 is Steven Stokes. The number 0 of Jason Gunnels. There's Jim Rivas, Jeremy Akins, Derek Wright bringing up the rear of the field now in that 18th position as Jackson Reitzler, Chris Hill, Ty Ralph, and Robert Eversole have all taken themselves off of the racetrack. As Jordan Gage, though, Jordan leads the way here in that 0-5 ride as Jeremy Sexton continues in tow. It's Cocky Floyd Consulting 1, 2, and 3 on the speedway, and I know these guys would love to try to keep it that way as here comes Whaley. Whaley trying to battle back for that 3rd spot, looking to see if he can race his way up towards the front. Ryan Howard and Brian Wells, they're in 5th and 6th as here comes Castle, here comes Philip Sexton, here comes Jeremy Vaughn. Vaughn now into the 9th position here. We'll have to wait and see if he can navigate a couple more spots here and try to work his way up inside the top 8 here this evening as he's around Tim Taylor here. Taylor, unfortunately, now back into the 9th position, and Jeremy Vaughn up into position number 8 here. Heck of a run for the birthday boy here this evening as another lap gets completed, and we inch closer and closer here to that checker flag. 12 more laps left in this 65-lap feature event. In Jordan Gage, the Get a Bumper Motorsports Cocky Floyd Consulting number 05 ride continues to lead this race. Gage has been the virtual reflection of perfection here this evening, has led virtually every single lap except for 1 or 2 that the 2020 ride was able to jump up and steal from him there on a couple of those restarts. Other than that, this 05 ride has had control of this race, and he's just been mitigating everything that's going on back there behind him, making sure that the 2020 doesn't get too close, doesn't open up the door, or make any mistakes out there on the racetrack to give them a reason to try to go around him here. Obviously, a very, very slick racetrack, a few caution flags, and a few restarts that he's had to really deal with and had to get the hassle of battling door to door with that 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton, but each and every time Jordan Gage has been able to prevail. Can he prevail late in this race and try to put himself up and into victory lane here this evening in the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights as the 05 back down across the line will complete lap number 58 here this evening. We got 7 more laps left to go here in this one as Jordan Gage, Jeremy Sexton, Marcos Page, Jackie Whaley, and Brian Wells are top 5. You see Jeremy, he's trying to figure out a different line. He's trying to figure out a way to get around this 05 machine. He's trying to figure out, where's the best place to strike here? Jordan is so good around the racetrack that you're really going to start moving around. But the more you move around, the more it's opening up the possibility of someone behind you getting around you. So he's in a very, very curious position here, trying to figure out whether or not he wants to try to go on the attack mode in full center here to try to figure out a way to get around this 05 ride, or does he just settle in, come home with a second place run, and hope to bring it home 1, 2, and 3 for Cocky Floyd here this evening? But he may get another opportunity as the caution flag will be displayed. A late race yellow flag here this evening as, oh man, tough break here. Tim, the Toolman Taylor, up inside the top 10 here pretty much all evening long. Even out of the get-go, had some damage on this 99 ride, and all of a sudden, he's going to run into some problems here. Watch the 99 ride just out of corner number 4. Not sure what happens here, but the car just pulls over to the infield here, and all of a sudden he takes it off the racetrack, and that's a tough break there for Tim Taylor, and obviously going to bring out the yellow flag here for us this evening as well. Definitely nothing that we ever want to see, and obviously, hopefully Timmy is A-okay. Hopefully that car is fine, and hopefully we'll see him back out there in the next one, as that's a tough break for a driver that's been battling inside the top 10 here all evening. And now for Jordan Gage, he'll have to get ready for a big restart. Now, the only thing that's maybe a little bit benefactor here to him is that it is now single file restarts. Inside 10 laps left to go, we do go to single file restarts here for all these drivers, so at least a bit of a blessing there for the 05 ride, as the 2020 of Jeremy Sachs will have to try to figure out a way to jump up here and figure out a way to try to beat him here this evening. Marcos Pace, does he have something left in the tank to maybe jump up and take that top spot? In with Jackie Whaley, Brian Wells, Ryan Howard, Philip Sexton, Jeremy Vaughn, Anthony Thompson, and Stephen Barreau now inside our top 10. As Jordan Gage, another great restart there for the 05 ride, does get up, take the outside fence there a little bit, but able to carry that speed and momentum down through 3 and out of 4, back down across the line. We'll see 2 more laps left to go. So 2 more laps left here for Jordan Gage, as Gage looking to try to hold off his Cocky Floyd Consulting teammates here for another lap, as out of corner number 4, we will see that white flag fly one more time around here for the 05 of Jordan Gage's Gage down the back straightaway here in this one for the final time this evening. He'll round corner number 3 and out of 4, Sexton can't get there as Jordan Gage will pick up the Wednesday night street fights win here from Federated Auto Parts Raceway. Jordan Gage picks up the dub and will pull himself up and in to victory lane here this evening at I-55. Jeremy Sexton coming home there in second, and Marco's Pace rounding out our top three here this evening, man. What a run and what a drive for all of these drivers, putting on a hell of a show for us here this evening. And we'll get ready to pull our top three potentially up and into the booth here for some post-race interviews. Post-race interviews potentially coming up next year. We'll have to wait and see if we can get these drivers up and into the booth here for their post-race interviews today. As I'm sure, there we go. Is it on Scenic or is it on? Why is it not going to Scenic here? Go to Scenic. Scenic. Alright, well, I don't know why it's stuck on that camera angle. That is going to drive me wild here all evening long. But nonetheless, we'll get ready to pull our top three up here. JC Floyd says, hello, sir. Hello, brother. Hello, brother. How are you? JC coming in, showing the love. He's absolutely pumped up, seeing his Cocky Floyd Consulting teammates there at the front. As Taylor Pratt, what's good, Pratt? How are you, brother? Taylor coming in as well says, dang, the Sexton ride is a nice ride. It is a very, very beautiful looking rides. Always good rides out there for the Tommy Gun Custom Machines. As Tina Sexton with that heart reaction. Taylor Pratt going in with the heart reaction as well here on the broadcast. James Beavers, how are you, James? James coming in, dropping that thumbs up here on the broadcast as well, as we'll get ready to pull in our top three finishers here this evening for their post-race interviews. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Jordan Gage. Hey, Jordan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Jordan, man, hell of a run, hell of a drive here this evening. Obviously, starting in that pole position and then quickly just, keeping that 2020 right back there at base. Some of those other drivers back there as well. But obviously very, very slick. There really wasn't a whole lot of different lanes out there to move to. So you were just kind of in that catbird seat all evening long. Obviously a few restarts. You had to try to hold off that 2020 machine. Each and every battle that he mounted, you were able to defend and keep that race lead and keep him back there behind you. So you're able to park yourself up and into the Federated Auto Parts Raceway victory lane.
Yeah, it was pretty uneventful, It was just day racing through the middle of the slick, and that was about all. And I mean, all I knew is that if I just had to survive a few bumpers and a little bit of contact to win the thing. So we were off for 2 weeks, but it's glad to be back. Happy to see Cocky Floyd cars in the top three and do really good throughout the field. So, yeah, that's about all I got. I got to thank JC Floyd, DWRL for putting all this on, the Sextons, everybody in the Cocky Floyd Discord, and Taylor Pratt, I know you're watching. Keep beating those buttons, dude. I love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Well, a hell of a run, hell of a drive here for you. And yeah, as you said, a little bit of contact, a little bit of, bumper-to-bumper action there as, you have to get the Bumper Motorsports sticker on the side of your car. Jeremy doesn't have one, at least not that I've seen, but, man, he could have used it here today to try to get you up and out of the way here for this race win, man. How did you hold him off there, especially in those closing laps?
You just had to be calm and patient, really. Just keep trying to run the same line and just deal with it when he hits you. I mean, that's part of racing when it's like this. You can't get frustrated that he's leaning on you. You just got to keep running your race. And there for a little bit, he was on my outside on a restart, and I was like, well, I know I'm gonna have to race him for at least a lap to try to get back in front of him. So it's just kind of throwing those Hail Mary sliders and hoping they lift and don't throw it, and then you can get back around them. But yeah, it was good racing with me and Jeremy, and I know Marcos is right there. We're running pretty identical lap times, JC was telling me, so just knew I had to be calm and run the same laps.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a very good day and a very strong afternoon, not only for yourself, but for the entire Cocky Floyd Consulting crew here this evening. Jordan, who would you like to thank, though, man, for such a great run and strong performance in picking up tonight's Dirt Warrior Racing League checkered flag?
Cocky Floyd, first and foremost. I had 2 weeks off and came back, and we're just as fast as the day we left, and I gotta thank JC for the paint, KR1, Sextons, Ethan Johnson, all the guys over there in the Cocky Floyd Discord, and fuck Tommy Gun Customs.
Absolutely, brother. Well, a hell of a run, a hell of a drive here for you. I'm sure Taylor's going to love that one. But nonetheless, man, great performance. We can't wait to hopefully see you back out there next Wednesday and potentially right back up here at Victory Lane. Obviously, maybe a little bit more of a challenging racetrack, maybe a little bit more multi-lane where you'll have your work cut out for you a little bit more in next week's race.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I love racing harder than that. So, but yeah, we'll be back.
Absolutely, man. Well, have yourself a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of your night. Jordan, congrats again on the victory here this evening.
Thanks, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for the 05 of Jordan Gage. As Jordan picks up the dub here this evening, we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher. It's the 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton as Jeremy comes in position number 2. As, yeah, definitely a lot of talking in the chat right now. You guys, yeah, this track, if it's a little bit more tacky early on, I don't know. It used to be really, really good. I'm not sure if it just tends to go more of that single file, one lane kind of racetrack nowadays. But I know back when I actually did race, this track used to be really, really fun, man. For the first while when this track came out to iRacing, it was probably the funnest one that they had on the server. And slowly but surely, just like anything else, kind of got nerfed a little bit. And seems like it just continues to get more and more nerfed. And it's never fun, man. We want to see multi-groove, multi-lane racing action, door-to-door, elbows up in fender-to-fender contact out there on the racetrack lap after lap after lap. As Philip Sexton says, absolutely, brother. Absolutely, Philip. How are you, mister? Hopefully you're having yourself a good day. Solid run there for you. Obviously, almost got turned around there. Almost ended up a very bad day for you, but luckily enough, you really get bounced back into the right direction. Hangs on for a 7th place run here tonight, man. And not bad considering it could have been a whole lot worse. As Buddy Mills Jr., what's good, buddy? Buddy coming in with the like on the stream. Robbie coming in with that heart reaction. JC with the laugh reaction. Mr. Pratt with that heart as well here on the broadcast. We appreciate you, fellas. As Phil sits down to pee. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Phil, don't be one of those guys. Don't be one of those guys. No, it's okay. You do whatever you got to do, brother. You know, if it's small enough that it's not dipping into the water, then, you know, all the power to you, I suppose. As we'll get ready to pull in our second place driver, Jeremy Sexton. Jeremy waiting patiently here down pit side. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Jeremy, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Not too bad, Jeremy. Heck of a run. Heck of a drive out there, man. Obviously, not a whole lot of room or lanes to work with here. You had a couple opportunities, a couple looks there to the outside of Jordan Gage, and it just seemed like even if you had the faster car at times, you just couldn't really make a pass out there to get around him without potentially contact or anything else there to try to steal this win away from Jordan Gage.
Nah, man, it's pretty much followed the leader, and I had the one opportunity on the restart, got to his outside and maybe led a lap or so. I'm not really sure if I even led, but we were pretty neck and neck. I anticipated him sliding me, so I kind of let off a little bit to be able to cut under him. He didn't slide me at that moment, but that gave him enough that he could get in front of me the next corner, so I just tucked in behind him again.
Yeah, absolutely. Tucked in behind him there, trying to survive and battle for another day as you're very much stuck into a tough position. Obviously, you got some teammates there, the Cocky Floyd Consulting 47 back there behind you, but Jackie Whaley and some of these other drivers right there. So as you're following in line behind that 05 right, obviously you want to try to move around, try to see if you can find something, a different lane, a little extra grip out there to maybe find the speed that you need to complete a pass or get back underneath of them or around them on the outside. And if you start to go out there, you start to wander too far out, you can all of a sudden slip up, make a mistake, and then all of a sudden get freight trained there by all the cars back there behind you. So you couldn't really do much out there on the speedway, but we saw you trying to find something late in this race.
Yeah, about 20 to go, I started trying to run a little, maybe a half a lane higher than Jordan, and with a little cut, I was actually able to win a league race a couple weeks ago here with the same line late in the race, but he's seen it obviously, and he's good enough that he's not going to allow somebody to sneak attack him like that. So I'm happy to run second to him. That probably makes about 47 million times I've ran second to him. So I feel like I learned something every time. Those guys have helped me a ton. Him and JC both. I wouldn't be where I'm at without them. Really can't say enough about them. Good guys.
Yeah, absolutely great fellas out there, and obviously always, tough competitors, tough drivers out there, and when you can kind of work with them and learn their tendencies and their trips, what were tricks out there on the racetrack, always a very, very good benefactor for yourself, and obviously that's why we see, all three, top three finishers here tonight being the Conky Floyd Consulting Ryans and many more throughout our top 10 here this evening. Just always been here. He's been around for a long time, obviously, and same with Jordan, and they're definitely two guys to always look up to and work with and try to figure out how to get better and better here at your craft.
Yep, they've always been very helpful, man. Jordan has, ever since he's came back full time at one point. Now he's kind of semi-retired again, I think, but he has always been willing to help me in any way. Can't say enough about him, man. I'm just glad that we had a good run. Marcos had a good run. I think Seth had a few problems there. I hate that for him. My buddy Brian, I think he finished 4th. Philip was around 6th. So overall, that was a good night.
Yeah, very solid night for the whole crew here this evening. And Jeremy, you come home in position number 2 here again this evening. Another podium trip for you here in the Dirt Warrior Racing League. Who would you like to thank, though, for another great run and another great performance here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway?
I'd like to thank everybody with Cocky Floyd, JC, Jordan, Ethan. I know I'm going to miss some of them guys. Chris Hill. They've all been great to us. Seth, Phillip, Jacob, Marcos, Derek Rice, Brian Wells, everybody that races in the kennel, Justin Doherty. We just kind of went through and had a cleanup, kind of had an issue going on. So also, bad as I hate to, I'd like to thank somebody for making my cars look good, even though they took $1,200 from me and deleted all the links, but at least I can still run them. So I just think people need to beware when they're paying somebody this much money for things, that they get ownership of it and not get hustled like we did, thinking somebody's a friend.
Yeah, yikes, that is a tough situation, something that I have not seen or heard about. So news to me. Obviously, that's a tough one, man, and hopefully you guys can get that figured out or find a way to, meet in the middle, or at least get your paints back where you can access them, have the links to them, or whatever you need to be able to use them, as that's a shitty situation, brother.
Yeah, I can still run them because they were loaded. If I ever lose them, which Jim Rivas actually made me files of all of them now, so I'll never lose them. I'd like to thank Jim for that, all the guys with DWR, you for the broadcast, and I just want to make awareness to guys, man. I don't think people realize that this could happen, and 1,200 might not be a lot to some people, but it's actually a lot of money in the big scheme of things when you're putting wraps on a virtual car and somebody can maliciously try to cut you down like that.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely no place in iRacing or anywhere in the world for that kind of activity. Definitely not very nice and very scummy and obviously scammy. So that's a tough situation for you, man. And yeah, $1,200 is a lot of money, man. Especially when you talk in USD. I'm Canadian, so that's like $2,000 for me. That's a couple months of rent. So like, it's not a little bit of money.
But that's all right. We're all out here racing while he's banging away on a keyboard. So keep doing your thing, buddy.
Absolutely. Well, Jeremy, heck of a run, heck of a drive here in this one,
Thank
man.
you.
We're happy to see you back up here in the booth, and hopefully we'll see you back up here again next Wednesday.
Appreciate it. You have a good night, man.
You too. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for our second place finisher here this evening. As Jeremy Sexton comes home in position number 2. Definitely didn't know that was going on. That's pretty crazy. That's a crazy story. Is that on iRacing Dirt Talk? Who's got the tea here? Okay, I like some tea. Okay, I like a little drama. I never get into the drama. I just watch and lurk in the shadows, read it and everything else. I don't get into the drama. I don't got time for that. I'm way too busy, man. I got way too many things on the go always. So my time on the PC is a lot of just editing videos and obviously being up here and doing these broadcasts. So that's that's news to me, man. When I get the chance to go to bed later here tonight, I will be definitely hopping on Facebook and scrolling through iRacing Dirt Talk to see if we can find some more drama over that one, as definitely going to be reading up on the tee. As we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher here, Marcos Pace. Marcos comes home here in position number 3 here this evening. Marcos comes home here in third. Let's get him up and into the booth here for his post-race interviews, our third place driver. Hey Marcos, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, you got me.
I do. Marcos, man, hell of a run, hell of a drive here, man. You're able to complete off the Cocky Floyd 1-2-3 here this evening from Federated Auto Parts Raceway. But take us back through this one. Obviously, for many, many laps, we saw you just absolutely duking it out there with Jackie Whaley. He didn't want to give up that third spot. You wanted to take it away from him. You guys battled hard there for majority of this race, man. It looked like it was probably a lot of fun, maybe a little frustrating at times. But obviously, at the end, you're able to prevail and steal that third spot away from him.
Yeah, no, I had a really, really good race with Jackie. I'd like to thank him for such a good race and be able to run door to door with him on those restarts. So yeah, big credit to him for racing me like that. It was really good. But yeah, at the start, like I felt so quick at the start, man. Like honestly, those first probably 15 laps, I felt like the quickest car on the track. I just had Jackie in front of me and just couldn't do anything about it. So yeah, felt like I had the speed early on. It dropped off a little bit at the end. I knew Jeremy and Jordan were quicker in like the last 30 laps than I was, but that's all right. I still knew I felt quick enough to felt quicker than Jackie. I just couldn't really get around without moving him, and I wasn't going to do that. So those restarts though, the outside on those restarts, man, like if you wanted to pick a lane, it was the outside, because yeah, if you could hold somebody on the outside and just stick with them, you had such a good run off the corner, and the guy on the bottom just couldn't do anything about it. So those restarts that I was on the outside of Jackie, I actually it was actually better, because I could get that run on the restart and get around him up into third, and then we'd have another yellow, and then I'd be third, and then it just reversed, and it was happening. But yeah, that final restart came out, and final double file one came out, and I was on the outside, and I got him, and I was up to third, and we ran, I don't know, 15, 20 laps, and then got another yellow right at the end with 4 to go, I think, and it was single file, so there wasn't really anything you could do once it was single file, so I was happy to, get that final restart around Jackie. Unfortunate for him, but he had a great run tonight, and really thankful for him for a good race. So yeah, congrats to Jordan and Jeremy, Cocky Floyd 1-2-3. So that's always good. A couple other Cocky Floyd boys that did well was Brian Wells got up in 5th. Philip finished 7th after a tough start to the race, but he did well to come back. And good work to Stephen and Derek for always getting in here with us and racing every DWR race. So yeah, good on them. And yeah, tough. It is a tough track to pass on, like very, very difficult track to pass on. So qualifying was very important, and I wasn't too unhappy with qualifying 5th, but I knew I could have done better, but that's all right. Still ended up getting the podium, still talking to you, so that's always good.
Absolutely. Still always good. Still always shows that you had yourself a wonderful day at the racetrack. Marcos, who would you like to thank here for such a great run and strong performance out there on what was a very tough night to pass and make moves out there on the speedway, but still being able to come home in that third spot?
Yeah, just like to thank all the boys at Cocky Floyd Consulting. JC Floyd, obviously, just the legend that he is, for everything that he does for everybody. Yeah, all the guys in the kennel, Jeremy, Jacob, Philip, Brian, Derek, Stephen, Seth, Justin, yeah, all those guys, all great guys. So yeah, big up to all those boys. DWR guys, obviously, for putting this show on 3 times a week. Awesome that they do this for the dirt community. So yeah, really massive, big thanks to them. Big thanks to you for obviously broadcasting this every Wednesday still. So yeah, I know you couldn't be here last week, a bit unfortunate, but good to have you back this week. And yeah, as always, I'll go back and watch it after I'm finished talking to you. So yeah, thank you for always broadcasting it. Last week on the Monday night show, I actually got my first win. So I didn't get my first win with you here, unfortunately. I couldn't give you a number 1 winner interview, but yeah, last Monday I beat Massey at USA to get my first win, so I was really pumped about that.
That is pretty awesome, brother. I'm sorry I missed that. Wish I could have got that one onto a broadcast. It's always nice seeing you out there on the racetrack. Always good to see you have good finishes, and obviously trying to get that first DWR win. It's been something that you've been working on for quite a little while, and happy to hear that you're finally able to get that done. And then here you are backing it up tonight with a solid 3rd place run, and I'm sure without a doubt one of these days we'll get you up here into the booth first and up in victory lane.
Yeah, hopefully one day I can get up here on a Wednesday night and yeah, give you a number 1 interview. That'll be good. But yeah, they're tough to come by, these wins in DWR. So I'll take any one I can get, especially that one that I got against Massey. So really happy about that one. But yeah, hopefully I'm able to be back up here next week and yeah, give you another interview.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to it and look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack. Marcos, congrats again on the 3rd place run, brother, and hopefully have yourself a wonderful rest of your night.
Thank you. You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher, Marcos Pace. As Marcos comes home in position number 3 here this evening. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for that number 47 ride here today, man. These guys put on a heck of a show for us all night long, man. There's so much good battling going on, so many great, back and forths out there on the speedway, tight battling all around the racetrack, and in the end, man, it was a short run, but it was a good run here, and these guys really put on a hell of a show for us all to enjoy here this evening. So we can't thank all these drivers enough for jumping in here on their Wednesday night to enjoy some action and hopefully have some fun out there on the speedway, and we can't thank them all enough for jumping in and putting on a show for us to enjoy here this evening. And I can't thank you guys enough, all the fans in the stand, you guys, for coming in and showing the love here throughout the evening. All the likes, the comments, the shares, we appreciate each and every single one of you, and can't thank you guys enough for coming in and showing the love here tonight as well, man. Absolutely amazing to have all the fans in the stands here cheering these drivers on. But thank y'all for watching, thank y'all for tuning in, and we will catch you guys back here not tomorrow night. We're actually off tomorrow night. So no NASCAR racing tomorrow evening. If we can figure out maybe slotting something different, maybe just do something for fun, then maybe we will do that tomorrow evening. But if not, we will be off tomorrow. We won't be back in action until I do believe Friday night. So if I don't see you guys here tomorrow, then we'll see you up here in the booth on Friday evening. And obviously with this week being the July 4th weekend for the Americans, obviously a lot of people are going to be out and about. There's going to be a lot less racing action, and we're going to have a lot more fun doing some other things. Maybe trying to get a little different stream going on here through one of these nights and create some more cool content for everyone to enjoy. Maybe even throw up a couple random lobbies or something to broadcast there for the people that are out doing something or whatever on Saturday night or Sunday or hell, even tomorrow night maybe. Who knows? Maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow evening. But nonetheless, we'll figure it out and we'll get you guys all hopefully back here in the booth. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you guys back here in the next one. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
night burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels screaming, spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oil slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Races blood pumping fast, gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies in bands. Ruthless turns, hard turns, savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, not in faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like trophies, exhaling battle